guys, today's video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. If you haven't done it already, head down to the description before this video starts, click the link and download it completely free of charge on iOS or Android. So Uncle Roland, he's been up to his old tricks again. Roland Duchatelet, the Charlton Athletic owner, came out and he's not gay, is he? But he did come out. Oh. It all started about a year ago. And this is how I like to imagine it went down, right? Yo, Charlton fans. Who's this? Oh, it's Roland. Hello, Roland, mate. You all right? Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you? Yeah, don't care, really. Anyway, listen. You know how I've owned your club for like a few years and that now, and you lot think I'm a massive knob and that. Yeah, bit of an understatement, but you are a knob, yeah. Well, I've been thinking about it, and I'm actually going to sell you lot. Yeah. Wait, what? You're going to sell us? Oi, sweet. Everybody wins here, right? Yeah. We'll put it out on Twitter today, and yeah, I'll sell you lot soon. Ha, sweet, Roland. Cheers, mate. No worries. Anyway, since that highly accurate retelling of what happened when Roland Duchatelet did decide to sell us or put us on the market for sale, it's like I said, it's been a year and just basically nothing's happened. So last night there was a fans forum meeting where regularly the fans and the fans forum and the owner or the representative of the owner, so it's actually not the fans and it's not the owner, representatives of each get together and they discuss the latest goings on in the sort of takeover situation. Now, just to sort of give some context around this, a few days ago Roland Duchatelet's property was vandalised over in Belgium and he suspects it is Charlton fans. We can neither confirm or deny, and just saying here on the record, I don't personally condone vandalism. However, Roland Duchatelet then decided to retaliate by going to this fans forum meeting with a proposition. Now, the proposition was that he was going to suggest to the fans that the EFL take over Charlton. Now, bearing in mind, this is a year after we've been fed, and throughout the year we've been fed this information about, oh, there's 4 parties, there's 6 parties, there's 1 party, there's 2 parties, there's 2 consortiums, there's a British party, etc, and basically nothing's happened, everything's still the same. And yeah, this is now like another, I don't know if you want to call it like a climax of the situation. We've been given the information that Roland Duchatelet suggests that we basically look to the EFL to take us over. What's going on?
You what? You give the club away for free?
But yes, because in fact, if you think that, if you're aware that the value of the land and buildings is like is so high. It's not very high comparatively to what you can pay or have to pay in.
What's the cash calls, Roland, on the business? If you're giving it away for free, what's the cash calls on the business? Well, they've got a fund.
No, the real estate, the building and the land, that's what they have to pay to some extent. Not completely, but to some extent.
So they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you for the stadium and the land, right? And
yeah,
that has a number, and that's what they're negotiating with you on.
No, there's no negotiation. So there has been a negotiation there's no negotiation since.
So why don't they write a cheque? I bought a football club. It took me 2 months to do it.
What did you pay for it?
I paid 11 million.
Roland, he paid 11 million at the time for the club. What do you want for Charlton? Settle on it now.
Well, what does you want for the stadium and the land?
What do you want for the stadium and the land, Roland?
Well,
now the TalkSport interview, very, very interesting. You should go and look it up on Twitter. I may leave the link down in the description if you want to check it out. But basically, Roland took to TalkSport to sort of, I don't know, complain about this, talk to Jim White about it. I don't really know what the goal was. But either way, the conversation happened about the ownership, about the failed selling of the club so far. And the quote that I like is right at the end there. And that's where he says, look, mate, I've bought a football club. Just write a cheque. And I don't know, I don't want to go into all of the ins and outs and all of the gory details of what's happening, but basically Roland said, I'll give away the football inside of things for free, but I want 20 million for the land. It seems obvious to everybody that the issue here is the valuation of the club and potentially also the right buyers haven't come. Like, were they financially stable enough? Were they, not complex enough, if that makes sense? So there are so many factors to consider. All that we care about and all we need to know and all that affects our lives as Charlton fans, the takeover hasn't happened. So keep your eyes posted on this story because it's very interesting. It's very odd. It's some things that are happening and some things that are being suggested, like the idea that the EFL could buy us, are just mad in my opinion. So keep your eyes on this one. But as always, the conclusion of this little segment of the video is that the takeover hasn't happened. Will it? Don't know. One other thing before you move on, right? The comms team have been slagged off by Roland Duchatelet. Basically, they said that they were at fault for the way they conveyed some of the messages. I'm loosely translating this, so make sure you do go and check up exactly what was written up. But yeah, roughly it was the fact that the comms team, in Roland's opinion, were just basically insufficient. They didn't communicate the message well enough. Now, I don't know the comms team that worked at that time, but I work on the comms team now. I basically go in like more or less once a week. I see the guys, Ollie, George, Tom, myself. They call us the legends. But let me be the first to say these people are all extremely nice, professional people who just want the best for the football club, and that is so clear when you go and see the work that they do and, you know, the conversations that you have there and how they want things to happen and how they want the club to run and that kind of stuff. They're just well-intended people with a good work rate, and that is what I want to say about that. Now moving on, I need your help to interview a couple of Charlton players. So I'm getting together with Charlton Athletic and also BetDAC, and we're producing this sponsored piece of content. Hopefully it'll be once a month until the end of the season, where I'm going to sit down and have a sort of light-hearted interview with a couple of Charlton players. I think it'll be 1 or 2 each time. The first 2 guests are Christian Billick, like I said, and Chris Maxwell. So I need your questions. I want a segment in this interview where I just sort of ask them questions that Charlton fans have asked. So make sure, if you have any questions for these two, and make sure they're not too serious. Basically, I want them to be not necessarily even football related, you know, some stuff that's going to induce a bit of banter, you know, a bit of lightheartedness. And yeah, leave those down in the comments if you have some, and I'll get asking the best questions that you guys leave. Now, on the pitch, Naberto Sarrlos. What a free kick this man hit to equalise for Charlton against Wimbledon last weekend, and then we eventually went on with that Duchatelet last-minute header to win the game in spectacular fashion, 2-1, and Charlton again back to winning ways, chasing and cementing their place in the top 6, potentially even chasing the top 2. If Igor Duchatelet turns up and has a good bit of form from now until the end of the season, like we know he can do, then we may be in with a shout at that top 2. But let me know what you think about that as well down below. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game against Doncaster. Doncaster just now off the back of a 2-0 loss. Our good friends over at Shrewsbury did us a favour. So they're on the back of a loss. We're on the back of a win. It is away, and Doncaster are the main team that are chasing us. They're 1 place behind us, and hopefully they don't get the win against us that will shorten that gap. If we get the win, we're going to be looking more towards 3rd, 2nd, probably not 1st, but up towards the upper echelons of the League One table. So make sure you whack your predictions for the Doncaster game down below. Contracts. Okay, so in the last episode of the Red Roundup, I was talking a little bit about some of the players whose contracts expire in the summer, including loan players, including actual Charlton players, and there were a fair few, let's be honest. Now, since then, we've managed to tie up deals with Dylan Phillips. I can't remember if he'd already had a deal the last time that I recorded an episode, but then we got George Lapsley over the line as well, really big one. Everybody's wanting Jai Rebo, and Richard Corley reported today that Anthony Deakstil, who I didn't actually realise was running out of a contract with us, but he is going to possibly be the next player to get a new contract. So these are happening gradually. There's still a lot more players we need to tie up, but yeah, this is good stuff, and hopefully Deakstil, Rebo, lots more players can follow the footsteps. Sarr as well, Naberto Sarrlos, let's get him tied down to a new deal. And yeah, that's kind of good signs of that are slowly progressing in the background at the moment. Finally then, we have the Fantasy League, and as we get towards the last stages of the season, pretty much the last third of the season we're in now, there's only like 10 games for the Premier League teams left. This league table is really shaping up to be interesting, and Adrian still winning at the moment. He's a fair few points ahead, guys, so make sure you're doing your fantasy teams, because I will be giving a prize to the winner, and at the moment it looks like Adrian will be getting the prize. But ladies and gentlemen, if I've included this clip, it's because I want this video to get to 10 minutes long so that I can get ad revenue. There you go. Honesty. A new Pokemon game has been announced. Why is this relevant? It's not. But interesting, right? Each Pokemon game has a region. Now this region, this is the 8th generation of Pokemon games that have ever been released, and this region is based on the UK. Waterloo, Stonehenge, the Scottish Highlands, the Lake District, it's all been included. The only reason I'm telling you this, like I said, is because I want more ad revenue. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the Red Roundup. Hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I will see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves, and sweet.